And welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to place an emphasis this week on loving the self. So that's what I'm going to contemplate while shuffling for you. We're using the Wisdom of the Oracle for our main spread, and then the Healing with the Angels Oracle and the Medicine cards for our additional message cards today. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for October 31st through to November 7th. I regret that you may hear some construction sounds. So if there's banging in the background, that's all it is. It's just some construction. And the weather was really weird, so I couldn't upload on time. So I really hope that you are watching this probably November 1st. All the same, happy Halloween to you. Thank you so much for being with me today. I love reading for you. So Sagittarius, we're going to be doing a general reading for you, whatever is most prominent in your life this week. I encourage you to take these messages and apply them too, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So, what does Sagittarius need to know about loving the self this week? Wow, Sagittarius, it looks like with regard to the question or with regard to the concern on a general matter on loving the self this week, it looks like it might be time to give something up that you're probably already aware of and you've probably already identified. And certainly if you're listening to this and something is cropping to mind, and you're thinking, you know, if in order to love myself, when I ask myself that question, you've probably identified what that is, okay? At least one thing with regard to absolutely having to change, okay? This is the human condition. We all have to change in order to grow, and we all have to be willing to let go of what isn't working, or the parts of ourselves that we are no longer identifying with or no longer interested in. And it's really just an element of personal growth here, so it's a very positive thing. On the other hand, in terms of loving the self, it looks like you really need to let go of something if you already haven't. And this is going to be very, very personal to you, okay? This is very unlikely having to do with anybody else. In some cases, for my Sagittarians, many of you won't even have told somebody else what this is. And in some cases, perhaps you're still trying to figure out what that is. There's something sort of, you know, we have that gnawing feeling in our stomach, or like an intuition, maybe even something like a deja vu, or something that you're finding in the dream state, or something that you're finding inspiration in, perhaps someone else that you respect or that you are speaking with has accomplished something that you yourself would like to do. And for whatever reason, you've held yourself back. And I might say at this point too that whatever that is, if that's the case, really ought to come with no judgment. You don't need to judge yourself for that. The right time for you is going to be different than the right time for someone else. So be patient with yourself at this time, because you could be feeling as though nobody understands, and you could be feeling as though if you do make a significant change, or a change that is significant has been undergone recently, that the changes could be upsetting other people or upsetting your, say, schedule, okay, your habits. Or if they haven't been, the changes haven't been undergone already, there could be a sense of, you understand that if these changes are made, they're going to upset habits, and there's a real resistance there, okay? But remember, resistance is key to growth. It's actually part and parcel of it. You cannot be resistant to something you're not already aware of that needs to be changed. So really the first stage is complete, okay? Recognizing it is a great deal of work in recognizing what needs to be changed. So that part is over. I think the resistance needs to be worked through here. So without further ado, let's look at these one by one and really look at why I would have said this for the culmination of these cards here. I do want to suggest as well at this time that if you do take a leap of faith, or you are true to yourself and follow a vow for self-fulfillment, happiness, and in particular this week, Sagittarius, towards self-love. And I want to be clear here that when I talk about loving the self, that I'm not talking about ego, okay, or attachments. That's not love, right? That's fear, okay? When I speak about self-love, I'm talking, or loving the self, I'm talking about really appreciating who you are and really knowing how to and being willing to take care of yourself with the knowledge that you have. Okay, this could be healthcare, this could be relationships, this could be your work environment, this could be economics. Perhaps you know that you're worth more money, perhaps that you are being, called into a higher economic bracket, for example, and you're holding yourself back for a multitude of reasons. Or if there's a health issue, you're holding yourself back. Anywhere where there is habits that you recognize that need to be changed due to new knowledge is yours for the taking this week. I think there's just an element of being willing and ready to let go of who the person is that you are now, or the person who is now fading, that personality part of you that needs to be let go of in order for you to find peace in what's happening now. So orphaned is in your central position. This represents you. This is where I see you feeling as though you could be forgotten or lonely or out of sorts somehow. It's also rather gray, you can see here. So there could be a sense of not feeling good enough. The ego could be taking a real hit this week. But remember, your ego, right, isn't yourself. Yourself is the precious part of you. It's the creation of God. That's you. It's the undeniable spirit of life. That is you. It's not what people think of you. It's not even, frankly, what you think of yourself. It's just that you're a living expression, a divine expression of life. And there's perhaps this resistance to either accepting that or living that, okay? Because these could, that knowledge for you could be upsetting some of these habits or lifestyle habits that you have. And this happens to all of us, okay? I'm not picking on you, Sagittarius. This happens to all of us, and it's just literally a matter of growth, right? But coming to terms with this and making yourself and loving yourself more important than some habits or even some comfort right now, okay? Giving up some creature comforts right now and then developing new creature comforts could be a really good game plan for you. And if you do find it's difficult doing that, or even getting started doing that this week, Sagittarius, what I might recommend is that let's say you have 3 or 4 things that I have identified that you would like to switch up or you would like to change around. Maybe take one at a time instead of making a mountain and then sort of feeling defeated going into it. Maybe, yes, create that list and be very aware and knowledgeable about what it is, and then go one by one so that you can be successful one stage at a time and build on that momentum here. It's a really nice week for you, Sagittarius, to learn to trust your intuition and to really learn to trust that inner voice of yours that is probably speaking louder and louder to you. I think that you've been aware of necessary changes for quite some time. This is the regeneration card, and here we're looking at, yes, this could be a death of something, but remember that it's a rebirth, okay, at the same time. Also, what feels like a trial by fire right now could be your saving grace, okay? This is equivalent, in my view, to the death card in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. This is really coming through something. It's actually, it could be considered as well as shamanistic death, all right? There's a real sense of power here. And it's strange. You wouldn't think that, if you're undergoing something or going through something that feels like a real challenge or is felt like beyond your capacity for any reason, that could really be sort of saving you in many ways. But any challenges this week, and certainly any challenge that you yourself are pushing yourself through, are going to manifest greater and more significantly than you had probably imagined here, because this is necessary. And it is stepping through something, right? We have to step through what it is we thought we were, what it is we thought we wanted, what it is we thought we knew, okay? And back momentarily to the word identity, to how we identify ourselves. I am this person. I am a banker. I am a mother. I am a wife, okay? I am a father, okay? So, and then you sort of just go, and that limits you, essentially, right? So what we can do is we can say, yes, I am that thing, but if you always add, no matter what you are self-identifying as, if you always add to it, and I am a divine expression of life, you can sort of recall in a very short period of time, during that internal dialogue, how significant you really are, and really learn to love yourself even more, okay? Or if there's a struggle there, you can begin to love yourself. So much of this has to do with internal dialogue as well. And it has to do with internal narratives, right? How we speak to ourselves and how we think of ourselves. If you've been troubled for some time, or if you have thought poorly of yourself for some time, believe it or not, these become thoughts, these become conversations in your head, right? The way that you react to, say, having a bad day or react to a situation. It's a really nice week to lift yourself up and not get dragged down into something or to let anyone else drag you down. But ultimately, this is about you, those internal narratives, those internal messages. So it's a really nice week to walk through something. You could feel like you're at a loss or that you've lost something, but remember, it's a shedding, right? Another way to phrase that is like it's a shedding. And it's supposed to happen. And really be gentle with yourself right now if that's what's going on and it's a struggle. This is where we're looking at things looking beautiful at the end of this struggle. Treasure Island really is just about making dreams come true. And essentially, we can't make dreams come true until we walk through that fire, right? Until we get away from what we thought was working for us. Another way to frame it really is just to say that we can look outside of ourselves for peace and clarity and even love. So many people rely on external relationships, whether they're friends or family or romance, for a sense of value, for a sense of even belonging, and ultimately for a sense of love, okay, of worth. And I'm suggesting this week that if you spend time looking at loving yourself in the way that you want other people to love you, or other people actually do love you. So not that you have to stop those relationships, but that you can have that for yourself, that you can love yourself fully and deeply and see yourself the way that the people who love you see you. Here with your general energy for the week is time to go. This is where I'm looking at you absolutely having to shut the door on something. I mean, look, we have time to go. This is the walking away of something. A new door is at the end. A shamanistic death here, and then feeling as though you're a little bit lost. You're in kind of new territory here. Well, that's the nature of the beast here when it comes to changes and finding something new in your life that you really want to try and you really want to challenge yourself with. I don't see resistance to this either, by the way. I see you perfectly accepting of this. It's just that it's any type of significant change like that is going to sort of upset what your status quo is right now, or what your routine is essentially. But remember, any habit really takes 30 days. no matter what the habit is right now, if it's an internal dialogue, if it's a conversation you need to have with someone else, if it's an eating plan, if it's a workout plan, whatever that is for you, a business plan, if you need to reschedule your time or your energy or your focus, have some patience with yourself, trust that you can do it, and remember, as long as you stick to it, then you will more than likely develop that new pattern and that new schedule for yourself within 30 days, and then after that you won't even have to think about it. It'll become what we call old hat, right? So give yourself a little bit of credit for getting this far and trust that you can get to the next level here. I consider this the sister card to the Judgment in the Rider-Waite Tarot. Of course, we have this sense of judging yourself, judging others, judging situations. Ultimately, with regard to the spread and loving yourself, you really want to end personal judgment against yourself. Again, I just don't see this having to do with anyone else. As in, you know, you're judging someone else and you're critiquing and you're being critical. I don't see that having to do with anyone else. I think this is internal to you. But if the judgment can be quelled somehow, if you can say, you know what, I'm allowed to make mistakes, I'm human. I'm allowed to change my mind. I have new knowledge now. I'm allowed this new phase in my life because I've learned to love myself more, okay? Stuff like that. Like, if you're picking on yourself, really try to stop that and be gentle and kind with yourself. And another element of loving the self is to remember remember yourself, or try to recall yourself as a young child. It's a really nice exercise in terms of understanding how precious you really are, and how in the eyes of God you really still are a child. We're all children of God, right? And this is your story. It's your path. So if you can be gentle with yourself at this time, I would suggest that as well. And like I always say, if you do need additional support right now, wow, we got magic here. If you do need additional support, Louise Hay on YouTube is a fantastic support. She has many, many different videos, a lot of them affirmation videos, and you can just start doing positive affirmations. If not her, find who you really like, but really switch up any negative internal dialogue or thinking, and really put into practice that self-respect. Here with Raven, we have magic, really beautiful, especially on Halloween. Yes, my dear Sagittarius, you are full of magic. You are capable of this. And, curious enough, the word magic is really, it simply means a changing consciousness, right? When we have a changing consciousness, it not only changes the energy and the vibration around us, it changes the way we go and perform in the world. Our habits change, our growth is obvious to other people, and you're also open and aware to magic as well. You could be more attracted to nature and the natural world more recently. You could have even begun planting out of the blue, even something like herbs, or even regrowth with your vegetables, things like celery, lettuce, and avocado and stuff. Or you could be developing an interest around growing food or the natural world in general. So here with Raven being your final card, which is magic. So again, we've got magic, and we have a sense of, a shamanistic death, letting go of something that no longer serves you. If it is a feeling of being a little bit alone, or feeling as though, this is a hill I don't think I can climb, you really want to have some patience with yourself, okay? This is something that can't be hurried. And ultimately, this chest of gold is within, dear Sagittarius. It really is. You can get all the love, and you probably do. You can get all the love from other people in your life. You deserve it. You're a wonderful person. And a lot of respect and a lot of accolades. And perhaps you're doing business really well. But if you don't feel this way about yourself, then that's an emptiness that nothing can fill. No amount of distraction, no amount of romance, no amount of anything. So really get to the core of what you need to do to love yourself. Take your time doing it. Create lists if that helps. Find affirmations that work for you. And remember that you are a really important child of God. And everything that you're doing right now is helping to raise vibration of love in the world. So thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate you being here. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you're not already, you can subscribe to my channel today. It's free to do that. And on that note, I've reached 2,000 subscribers because of people like you. And it makes my day and it makes all of this worth it. So thank you so much for trusting me and encouraging me to do these readings for you. I love it. I love connecting with you. And I will look forward to doing this as long as I possibly can. So until we meet next time, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.